thank you for joining us. The things you may hear tonight might cause you intense paranoia and frights as we journey down this dark rabbit hole together. So turn down your lights and turn up your radio and enjoy. It's not normal, it's paranormal.
My baby left me on a UFO. She couldn't wait to lift off and go. I couldn't stand to see her cry. I couldn't stand to be there.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 2 of That's Not Normal, That's Paranormal. Tonight, me and Don will be talking about the Nemacolin Castle in Brownsville, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and actually, before we came up with this topic, I've never even heard of this place. I've probably drove past it, but never heard of it.
You know, I drive past it all the time, and I was actually told about it a good bit by my wife, who is from the Pennsylvania area. In fact, I actually drove by it about 30 minutes ago.
See, you should have brought a Ouija board with you, and you could have walked on in. They do tours.
They do tours. They actually have events and stuff that you can sign up to do actual ghost tours, as well as regular tours about the history as well.
I always imagine my Ouija session would go straight Beetlejuice. Like, we're going to be dancing, and someone's getting possessed, and then probably going to end up marrying somebody. Like,
or your son will end up with an imaginary friend, and you don't know if it's real, and it's going to freak you out forever.
well, I mean, toddlers scare the shit out of me anyways, let alone an imaginary friend toddler. So, like, I've noticed since I have a kid, any horror movie that involves little kids, I stay away from. I love horror movies. I watch a shitload of them. But if they involve a little kid, like getting possessed or Sinister, great example, Sinister. There's no way I'm watching Sinister since I had a kid. I
know you have that phobia of black-eyed children, I know, so it doesn't help you any.
Well, that don't bother me as much. What bothers me is my kid getting possessed and running over my head with a lawnmower. That's after watching that, without a kid, you're like, this movie's really good. With a kid, you're like, yeah, I'm keeping this movie out of the household.
I just think it would be funny, man. I hope your little one just gets a nice imaginary friend and just freaks you the hell out.
I mean,
I think that would make for some comic gold.
I'm not above to punching an imaginary 2-year-old kid. Like, well, I guess
It might not
technically,
even be a 2-year-old kid.
I'm not above trying to fight an imaginary friend. I'll just put it that way. Like, I'll try to conjure up some like imaginary wrestling moves and put it in a suplex, and
It'd be hard to drop the elbow on Casper the Friendly Ghost.
I might be able to torture rack Casper the Ghost, though. Lex Luger would be proud.
Well, anyways, it's funny though, because like I drove by the Nemacolin Castle, and like I said, I drive by it a lot because my in-laws live up past that way. Drive by it, they got lights and stuff outside, so it's very not really ominous, but it's definitely a landmark, It's not what you would typically think when we say castle. You think of like England and Ireland and stuff like that, where they have bigger castles, like like your fairy tale looking kind of castles and stuff like that. Or it's more of the big house, like a mansion. It's 3 stories.
Yeah, that's what when I saw it, like it looked just like a kind of like a funeral home, really.
It does kind of remind you of an old-fashioned funeral home, yeah.
Because I was kind of surprised because when you first told me about it, I thought it was going to be, I mean, there's some weird buildings in PA anyways. So I was imagining a castle, like a monastery. And then when I seen it, I was just like, it straight up just reminded me of a funeral home.
Yeah, for sure. It has a lot of history tied to it, though. I mean, it was there with the French and Indian War, ties to the Civil War and the Underground Railroad. It's right along the Monongalia River, so a lot of trade route. shenanigans, and everybody knows the paranormal lore. Spirit stuff can be powered through rivers and such things, bodies of waters and stuff moving.
And the best part is, well, not the best part, but an interesting part of it is that it's not like they build this like how it is today. They just kept adding on Winchester style. They had like 9 kids. They kept building room after room. And it's really interesting how they did that.
Yeah, it completely morphed. It started off as like a trading post first, and then it was a part of the I believe a part of the fort up there. I'm trying to remember what the name of the fort is.
It was shoot, I know it. Oh man. Fort Bird.
Yeah. Yep.
Bird. If I'm saying that right. Fort Bird.
I believe you are correct. It does follow the national road too. And I don't know if you've ever paid attention when you're driving up PA, there's the big national road.
Yeah.
And it goes to a lot of main points for Revolutionary War, the Civil War, because it was a major trade route in between Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Maryland.
And then I know they had one of the things is they had like, so supposedly a bunch of the slave route went through there, and so some of the ghosts are where it was part of the Underground Railroad, the slaves going through there.
Yeah, that's some of the stories for sure. It's something else that speaking of like you watching horror films, the one thing that's never a good idea is building on Native American burial grounds.
Poltergeist.
Which this every building starting from the trading posts up until the castle itself is built upon. So that always adds to shenanigans.
So that means do not own a clown doll. Do not bring a clown doll into this building if you're going in at night for a ghost hunting. That thing's going to come alive and try to choke you to death.
Are you also afraid of dolls?
I'm not really afraid of dolls. But there is something I do fear that's inside this building. When I was a young whippersnapper, I watched a movie called The Ring. And inside this building, there's a well that is 70 foot deep, just inside this castle. And supposedly people accidentally fell into this well. So
do you really ever accidentally fall into a well? Like, seriously.
I don't know how you would. Like, I can see maybe you got drunk and fell in, but not like, oh, I'm just going to get some water. Bam, fall down in the well.
You might have been, quote unquote, accidentally pushed into the well.
Yeah, that's what I'd say happened. It didn't really say how many people accidentally fell into the well. So it might just be, folklore or rumors. But with a well inside your house, I'm sure people did fall in it.
Oh, no doubt. I guarantee that. Especially if you have kids. You know how that goes. You have a young one at home, they're fearless. And then you put something like that, which has catastrophic written all over it.
Yeah, this would make a good playroom. Let me put this 70-foot well in here. A lot of people said that, like, staff members and stuff, they always report like strange happenings, like footsteps and doors and lights and actual physical ghosts inside this place.
Yeah, I was actually reading about a couple of people that are working there, and obviously when they have the tours and stuff, the tour guides actually dress up in time era clothes. So they were having a little ghost tour late at night. One of the tour people was walking. They were getting ready to quit for the evening, and they seen a lady walk into a room where nobody was supposed to be. So when she walked in, there was nobody there. They said what was really interesting about it was a full body apparition. They said it was so clear that you could even see her fabric from her dress flowing as she went around the corner. So it's a pretty good tell. I guess a pretty common thing to see, like a little bit of a lady a stern kind of lady walking around.
And that's like this place, speaking of the ring, okay, definitely not the theme of the night, but it just keeps popping up. There's a ghost of a little girl in this place who's just seen, supposedly just in the middle part of a room, just some random room this little girl hangs out. There's a weird small boy. Now, they didn't say where the small boy showed up, so someone might know more about it than what I could find. But they said a small boy showed up, and this is my favorite part. This is absolutely my favorite part, is a ghostly little dog. Now, I want to pet this ghostly little dog. What kind of dog is it?
Play fetch.
Yeah, is it a corgi? Is it a pug? Is it... if it's a Chihuahua, it's going to be the meanest little ghost dog ever. Nothing against Chihuahua owners. I know you have some. Death, yeah, even after death, them things are yapping at you.
The ankle biters, even after death.
Like you walk in a room and this little motherfucker's barking at you, biting at your ankles.
Be gone, Satan. Be gone.
He got the red eyes just waiting for you to bring that Ouija board in there.
Power of Christ compels you.
That's terrifying, to be honest. Like,
you know what? It's the little ghosts that freak you out more if you really think about it.
It really is. Like, I could see like a full-grown adult, and I'd be like, "Hey, man, what's up?" I see a little kid ghost, little dog ghost, little like any little ghost.
Well, you know, the two like stuff we look at though, it's like there's always the possibility of something trying to trick you as being a child because you think of a child being innocent.
Yeah,
so I think it makes it even more freaky.
Yeah, because it could be a demon, and because a lot of times it's supposedly demons, you know, trying to trick you into helping them.
For sure. Just try to get in your mind.
They're not doing a very good job if they're going as a ghost dog, though, or not ghost dog, but a ghost chihuahua. Now,
picture it trying to bite ankles.
Yeah, now if it came out as Alaskan Husky or like a pit, like I like pit bulls, so a pit bull or let's see, what other cute dogs are there? They're all pretty cute. I mean, I'd pet any of them. I'm not gonna lie.
For sure. I know that there's a lot of stories about people seeing some apparitions like in the windows when people aren't supposed to be there. The kids, lady, also a older male ghost that they believe was like the original founder.
Yes, I've seen that. Supposedly, like he just kind of wanders the house.
Yeah, Jacob Bowman was the original founder before he sold it, or didn't really sell it, but it's maintained by the Historical Society now.
Yeah, 3 generations of Bowman family owned this house, and then the Historical Society took it over. So it stayed in this family from 1780s till I didn't really see when they took it over, so I'm not for sure when the Historical Society took it over.
I'm trying to remember exactly when it was. It's been a little while though.
Yeah, that's what I'm pretty sure I read it, but I couldn't remember what exactly or when exactly it was. Now, another thing is I think there's a lot of poltergeists in this place because lights, poltergeist, burial ground, come on now. And, but the lights, they'll turn off as soon as doors open and close.
I mean, it's very possible. I mean, a lot of energy in that place, a lot of motion over the time. When you think about it, all the wars, hiding of people trying to become, free, stuff like that. You know, one thing that always cracks me up though when I drive by it, Donnie?
What?
I drive by it. Most of the lights on the outside are on. So you got the little like spotlights, around the place that illuminates it.
Oh yeah.
Not so much lights inside. But I don't know if you looked at a picture of it. It has like the cylinder like shaped tower on the one side. Always a light on up there. A lot of times I drive by and I'm like, I wonder if that's intentional or if
yeah, that's true.
It just seems really awkward.
Now I wonder, to keep it like authentic, do they just use candles in? Well, they couldn't if the lights flick on and off. But that's what I was wondering, if they actually use candles inside the place too.
I mean, they might when they're doing the ghost tours, possibly. I don't 100% know. we definitely could go check that out sometime. It's really not that far away. Like I said, I drive by it all the time. So we should go check it out. Maybe do the regular tour and maybe the ghost tour.
That would be a good follow-up episode, is us doing a ghost hunting tour there and then reporting our findings, whether or not I got to pet this ghost dog or got the shit scared out of me by a little ghost child, because both of it seems likely.
Or something comes out of the well and comes home and friends the child.
I'll tell you what, I am not answering my phone. Like back in the day, you had the landline, but these days the ring girl's going to have to try a little harder.
I don't know if it'd be harder, really. She can reach anybody at any point in time now.
I've seen the Shitty Rings movie. I don't look at emails. That's your job.
Heck, man. With some Wi-Fi, man, you don't even need a phone. You can call people. We can call people through Wi-Fi apps now.
you know, I barely answer those.
Yeah, you barely answer anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She might have her work cut out for me. Well,
she's just gonna follow you home. She won't have to call you.
She got to wait 7 days. She got to call me. It's a rule. It's a movie rule. All I got to do is share it with somebody, and hell, you share something on YouTube or TikTok, it spreads all crazy. So
that's for sure, man.
That just reminds me how shitty of a Rings movie was. The first Ring movie's good, but man, those other ones are trash. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. But when the story involves a well, that's just where my mind goes. This story about the castle was actually featured on a TV show called My Ghost Story on the Bio channel.
Oh yeah?
I actually did not get to watch it in time for this podcast. I actually don't have the Bio channel, so I was trying to YouTube it and I couldn't find it. So if someone does find it, send me the link. I definitely want to give it a watch. But yeah, I just couldn't find it in time.
Yeah, man, we're gonna have to check it out. I don't remember ever seeing it on anything, and I watched a lot of documentaries and stuff, paranormal stuff. And it's one of those places. That's why I thought it'd be neat to talk about those, because I didn't really know it existed until driving up that way, because my wife's family's from up there, and I didn't really even know it was really a thing, honestly.
Yeah, and that's what
I
I think I've drove past it a couple times going up there, but I never really, that's one of those things where it's like a hidden haunt. I mean, the people in the area probably know about it, but outside the area, you're just kind of like, wait, what's this, building?
For sure. That's one thing that I like about doing this podcast is we get to highlight some places like that. Because, I mean, everybody knows, even like from our state, even if you don't live here, we have Mothman and the Flatwoods monster / alien. And then you got Brownsville and
Trans-Allegheny.
Yeah.
And then there's I would definitely like to do a future story on this. Shawnee Lake.
Oh yeah, for sure. That place would creep me the fuck out. I'd like to go though. No.
I would too. I think it's private property now, but I think they do tours, maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, it would take some looking into.
Maybe by that time we'll have like 10 listeners and the place will know about us and they'll just be like, hey, you do this awesome podcast, come on in.
Maybe. But one thing I find really interesting though, Donnie?
Yeah.
Is with that place being so close to the river. And a lot of people don't know this, but I think it's one of only 3 rivers in the whole world that actually flows north. The Monongalia,
yeah,
or how are you pronounce it? The Monongahela. Everybody pronounces it a little bit different. But I wonder if that triggers any more. They say sometimes it charges the energy in the area. I wonder if it being one of very few places that flows north, if it helps to charge that area.
It might.
On top of all the burial grounds and the wars and all that.
Yeah, it very well could be. I mean, usually when a place has that much of a bloody past and you got something like the river going north, like, it could be. I mean, between the war, Native American burial ground, underground, I mean, railroad and all that good stuff. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't build my house on top of it.
Yeah, that always baffles me though a little bit too, just because like, I mean, I understand information wasn't as great back then, but it's like you'd think somebody might have known that it was a Native American burial ground. So, I mean, you wouldn't want people to build a house on your family's grave site. You know what I mean?
Well, and they weren't, I don't know if they really, I don't think some people believed in the paranormal as much, or being respectful of other people's, burial grounds. Cause I mean, even to this day, I know of several places in our area that they were like, hey, that's a burial ground. We're just going to move the bodies and build houses there. And to me, that's super disrespectful. Like,
oh, no doubt.
I mean, I don't know. I think people just don't care and they just build wherever they want to.
Yeah, but I mean, even going back in time and stuff like that, though, I mean, a lot of people were still pretty superstitious with some things, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it was just they didn't know and it just happened to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, look, it's right close to the river here, so it's good for like, trading routes via boat and stuff, so. Yeah.
And I mean, that's one of the things that was a common theme when I was reading about the place, was how good of a trading route it was.
Yeah, I mean, you follow the river there, man, it'll take you everywhere. Further into Pennsylvania, brings you back down here to our home states. You follow that national road through PA, and it leads you up into Maryland. So you definitely have like the little tri-state area right there. It's pretty easy to get to.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, it's just prime realty. But yeah,
I don't know if you've ever really gotten to drive too much on that national road. I mean, I have, just due to the fact that my wife lives, well, not lives, but from that area. There's a lot of battlegrounds and stuff up that way. Might be some places up there worth checking out sometime.
Yeah.
I've always kind of wanted to stop.
Yeah, we might do some investigations. Go up there, investigate, see if we can find anything else.
Oh, yeah, I think that would be awesome. Check out a lot of those places. So what would you do, Donnie, if you're just going to a place and say you go, not necessarily your house, you work with public a little bit, so say you go somewhere and you just see something like super odd, like a person just like walks through the woods and just disappears, or there's a house where nobody's supposed to be and you see somebody in the window. What's your gut reaction?
Probably to cuss. I don't know what I would do, to be honest. I mean, I could sit here and tell you something, but what I would actually do is a different story. You know what I mean? I'd like to tell you.
Thank goodness you wore your brown pants.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'd like to tell you I was brave and be like, oh yeah, fuck that ghost. But I don't know what I'd really do. I mean, I feel like like us, because we talk about this stuff, we would be not as scared, I think, because we would be more, trying to figure out, did we really see something? Is there something there?
Try to disprove it, try to see what we can see.
Yeah. But I mean,
by yourself.
Yeah, if you're by yourself at night, say I'm driving down the road and I see a woman in white walking the road, and then like she just disappears. I mean, by myself at night like that, I'm going to be checking my back seat the whole way home. Like, I hope she ain't behind me. Like, so, I mean, I guess it depends on the circumstance and what I see. And, I don't know.
Speaking of that, I was thinking the other day, it will have to touch base on the whole story. And I think you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We actually went one time me, you, and some other friends, because you told us about a place that you went, and the lights were on, but there was no power to it
Yeah.
because through your job, which I won't name your job, but you go around and check things with people's houses and stuff like that. So you know what's going on a little bit with some of the utilities and what houses are occupied, what houses aren't occupied. We actually drove out there because you said you were out there one time late working and the lights are on, but there's no electric to the place. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And it was
We'll
even
have to talk about that story too, because about what's alleged that gets mixed around a bit. We'll have to get people's opinions on that because that story, you know what I mean? You know exactly what story I'm talking about. One thing you read about it says it's in this place, and you see this, then the other one tells you, things were found and this happens at this place. And I feel like that could be a fun episode down the road, just to tease the audience a little bit.
Yeah, give you a little tease. I actually almost forgot about that. And that would probably be close to, because you asked me in the first episode if I had any ghost encounters, and that one possibility, very good possibility. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I was just thinking the other day just about some things, and I was like, you know what? I remember that one time me and Dawn went, and we went. What was it, man? We were young.
Oh, it's probably been
early 20s that time.
It has probably been 10 years ago.
It was like what, 1-2 o'clock in the morning. We just strolled up there. Of course, no lights on or anything. We didn't see anything cool, but you did the one time.
Yeah, like I said, that'd be a great story. Yeah, that'd be a fun story to tell. So,
especially be way back there too. We drove a good ways. It felt like.
Oh yeah, it's down in the boonies. It's it's in a no man's land. You don't have no cell phone service down there if you broke down.
When you're down there, nobody can hear you scream for help.
That's right. But yeah, I think that's all we have for this episode.
Well, again, like we talked about in the first episode, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, want to tell us about your stories, just check in and let us know how you like things. You can obviously, these are going up on Podbean, YouTube, working on a couple other channels as we discussed here in a little meeting we had before we went live with this recording. But also send us emails, nnpnpodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's nnpnpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
And we appreciate all the feedback we got after the first episode. I'm glad you guys liked it. We're trying to put up regular content. I know it probably seems like a while, but it's only been a week, and it's just, between doing the research and finding quality content. So we appreciate your guys' patience. And like I said, we appreciate all the feedback. Everything we got was positive. And if you got any suggestions for us, don't be afraid to give us any.
Yeah, we had some good comments about some things that could make it a little bit better. We're all for positive. Can't think of the term I was going to use, but you have an idea or what you think would be better, we're glad to listen to it.
And we're still learning how to do this. So we're still trying, with each episode, we're trying to get better and better. And but yeah, we're just going to try to, keep getting some episodes out. If you guys got a topic you want to hear about, hit us up, send us an email, send us, give us a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe to our stuff so we can feel the love. We want to feel the love.
For sure. Donnie, got one more thing for you.
Okay.
Just to tease the people. Think next week on this wonderful podcast, we should not talk about the things that go bump in the night in your house or on your property, but the strange occurrences that wander out through the woods. People see but can't believe.
Ooh.
Just the times you see something and, maybe it's not normal. Maybe it's paranormal.